Hi, welcome back. I'm down there, in the corner again. I won't always keep my face there for the lectures because you probably get tired of looking at it. But at least at the beginning, you'll feel like there's a person behind this course that you're taking. Um, let's see. There's so many things to think about, so much stuff at the beginning of the semester. I do believe in this video right here, I pretty much covered everything that's on the first page. Um, so I'm going to skip over that and talk about what is on the modules page, and more importantly, the syllabus, like how the class works. So here is modules again. I do believe we went over some of this. Practice quiz, questions, samples. That is just so that you get practice answering questions in Canvas, answering my questions. And I believe for the quiz, I gave you a time limit too. The rule of thumb I've been using since the fall after going back and forth with students in the summer, is a minute per point, which for all the lecture stuff just really means a minute per question because it's a point per question. I will not have any open-ended what's the word I'm looking for? Any open-ended questions. There are some in lab, and we'll talk about that in lab. So for now, what else is up here? I should show you, also the survey. Take that on whether or not you prefer a Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon review session. I will say that I've already just put one in the course because why not? If you look at the calendar, because it's not an assignment, it won't show up in, well, it just doesn't show up in the module. I'm not sure how to put it there because it's a meeting and not an assignment. It is there. It is the meet and greet. I don't know if it has any additional information. It just says it's located in Teams. As far as I know, there is not a way for me to embed the Teams link into, I keep gesturing, into this meeting assignment or this entry onto the calendar. There used to be a way I knew how to link Teams and Canvas, but I think it was giving the school problems, so they stopped doing it. I'm not really sure. So tomorrow at 2:30, I'll be on the computer. I will open the meeting, but anytime in Teams that you want to get in touch with me, you can just go to Teams and call me. It's always the same meeting. It's not like Zoom where there's a different internet space that they open for every time you make a meeting. Teams is just, we're in Teams. Although you can restrict who has access to it by putting the meeting on a team page, so not people from other classes can't join this Teams meeting. That was way too much. So for that thing tomorrow at 2:30, if you have Teams, open Teams, you can find it one of two ways. You can go to our team, and there it is. We have a review session channel, but when I go to schedule it, Teams doesn't show the channel. Why, I'm not sure. So it just goes in the general channel of Teams, but that's the meeting there. Or if you just go to the calendar, and it may show up in your Outlook calendar. I forget if you have to accept the meeting or not. But it will in mine. So there it is, meet and greet in Teams, and you just click on it and you can hit join. That's really, I think, the easiest way for you to join anything that we do, because I'll put it on the calendar and then you just go to the calendar and click join, and then you're there with us. So that's tomorrow at 2:30. The meet and greet just means if you have questions after watching this, or you just want to know what your professor is like in real time, that's what you can do. Where do I want to be? I want to be back in So that is, so answer the survey, sorry, about when you want to have review sessions. They will most likely be at 2:30. I originally had office hours at 1, and I forget that's college hour, so all sorts of meetings get scheduled at 1. So I pushed office hours back to 2:30, and if we meet on Thursday, that would be 2:30. Objectives, I should talk about this briefly. Whoops, open there in a new tab. So the way my class works is that I have PowerPoints posted for you. All of the information that you need to know for an exam is in the PowerPoints, and the objectives should mirror or run parallel with the PowerPoints, and basically sort of distill a little bit what you want to know. They're written with my previous practice of using open-ended question on exams, but with the not the internet, but with online learning, the open-ended questions just don't work as well because people Google them. And then they do silly things like they cut and paste the answer from a website into their question without clearing the formatting, so the same font in bolded letters is in their question that's on the website, and it makes it really easy to tell if somebody's plagiarizing. If you don't know, by the way, that is cheating. We know you're going to open up another tab, maybe look on a website, but if you don't at least make the effort of paraphrasing somebody else's information, I will bust you and give you a 0, but now that's not going to happen because you're not going to have the ability to copy paste from a website. Sorry, I digress. These are the objectives. The objectives will help you understand what exactly you need to know, if there's a lot of terminology on a page, and what's more important versus less important, and what is simple definitions versus things that I'm going to ask more in-depth questions about. For example, here it says, know that taste buds are microscopic parts of the larger papillae. Oh, that's just a little fact I threw in there. 3 types of papillae: fungiform, circumvallate, and I forget the 3rd type of paste. Fungiform, circumvallate, and, well, heck, I forget the 3rd type. I guess they're not that important. I never asked that question. But that's a simple, straightforward, just know these types of papillae. They're the ones on the side. I can't remember. Over here, be able to describe how iris responds to light levels and control by the ANS. So there's a whole lot of information in that sentence. So if there's a lot of light, the iris is going to constrict. This is the sphincter pupillae. That's under control of the parasympathetic nervous system. And then everything's different if there's less light. Right? So that's something where there's a whole lot of details, and you need to know all the details, and you know how they relate to one another. So for the places where it says, like, just be able to list something or know definitions, those are going to be your basic true, false, fill in the blank, relatively simply worded, simple to answer multiple choice questions. For the be able to describe stuff, that's where we get into the kinds of multiple choice questions that people don't like. Like, which of the following is false? You know, which of the following statements best describes whatever? What is the proper order for this process? Things like that, a little bit more complicated questions that are trying to get at understanding, although it is difficult to do. It's really difficult to do in an exam of any kind. We like to think that we're teaching understanding, but it's really hard to assess that. So those are the objectives. They're there. I recommend that you print them out and keep them with you when they're studying. If it's not in the PowerPoints, it shouldn't be on the objectives, and it shouldn't be on the exam. If there are any discrepancies, which I'm sure there are, please let me know, and I can clear those up before exam time. So that's there. Anytime we do meet in teams for a review session or something happens, you know, and we have a little class meeting, I will post the recording of that here. All of the recordings exist only within the team, so you have to be a member of the team to join the meeting, and you have to be a member of the team to see the recording. So privacy is protected, nothing is violating FERPA. So the meet and greet will be here probably Friday, maybe Thursday night. Moving down then, for the rest of this semester, each week you are going to have a module that takes you through that week's material and assignments. I will always post within lecture material the PowerPoints you need and the videos I expect you to watch. This video I will probably put, not there, that's the wrong week, sorry. Here, so this video will probably go in week 1 because I want you to watch it sometime this week. And then something like this review sheet. This is something that I would talk about in a meet and greet, probably next Thursday during, if we have the optional review session, that I would talk about in the review session. And if nobody shows up, I might just walk you through it myself and post the video for it. But like this thing right here, not homework, it's just a review guide to help you organize the material for Vision. So again, every module, there will be one module per week. There will be a page called lecture material that will have whatever PowerPoints you are going to need, and whatever screencasts I expect you to get through for that week. So this week it's just half of Sensation. Even if you don't watch all of this week, that's fine. Remember to break these up into little bits, because watching a 40-minute screencast, you're gonna get bored and tired of it. So moving through, we did that. We talked about the objectives. We talked about that stuff. This is your one homework assignment. It is due, that says January 25th. Yeah, that's Monday. That should be Monday. Oh no, that's next. Why did I have it then? Sorry, next Thursday. That's fine. We'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go changing due dates on you. You'll get mad at me. So you just answer these questions, your favorite AP1 topic, whatever you might be looking forward to in AP2, and a study tip that has worked well for you. Obviously the biggest reason why I do this is for the study tips, so that those of you 2, 3, 4, 5, however many weeks from now, if you find yourself struggling a bit, you can go back to this discussion and see what has helped other people in AP1 probably try the same techniques for AP2. So go back. So again, right, this is all I expect you to do this week. Is watch some videos, learn your way through mastering. Just get registered for mastering, get registered for Teams, start to learn Canvas, and do that one introduction. And then tomorrow or Friday, I'll finish editing the lab. I'm updating the labs. Last time I taught this was the summer, and we've added some activities to make it a little bit more active for you all. You have more things to actually do. So when I will open up or publish the modules as they become updated, and it's proving to be more work than I thought it would be, because I started with the last time I taught this was a summer class, and so the material is all organized to get through it in 6 weeks, and now we have the whole semester, and I'm like, oh, I've got a lot of changes to make to Canvas that I was not counting on. So that's why I'm a little bit behind, because I forgot. I was going to be converting a 6-week summer course to the big shebang full semester. But you can see, looking at this, your quiz is here, your lab is here. Any answers or lab report rubrics or anything that you need, like feedback-wise, is also going to be in every week's module. Mastering is on the course calendar already, but I have not put all of the mastering assignments into the proper modules, but those two will show up in the module. So if there's something in mastering that's due, let's say, between February 1st and February 3rd, it will show up in this module. So you don't necessarily need to check the calendar to see if you're missing any assignments. If you've looked through everything in the module for that week, then you've done everything I'm going to hold you responsible for. If I forgot to make it visible in the module for that week, then that's my bad and you can get more time for it. So that's a really easy way just to see what you need to do that week. I'm sure you're familiar with the calendar. I'm still, again, putting everything at the right time, but you can see, let me get rid of that other class. You guys are green. You can see the hearing quiz is there already. That's a lab quiz, which I need to rewrite. And the lecture quiz is there. And we'll talk about when the quizzes are going to be. There we go. So there's a whole lot of stuff already there. It'll get shifted around as I make decisions about when I want things due in the regular semester. But the work is there. It's just not necessarily always on the right date. That's the objectives. Let's see, we did that. We'll talk a little bit more about how lab is going to work maybe in an email, because I need to decide what day I want lab reports due and what day the lab quizzes are going to be. And we can maybe even do a survey on that to see what people prefer. And there will be, again, more explanation about that. Basically, if you're curious with any any assignment that you can do anytime and just hand in will be due on some day, whatever day I decide at midnight. So you just have all day to do it. Then for assessments, quizzes, exams, that sort of thing, the quiz will be on a given day or the exam will be on a given day, and I will just give you all day to get it done. So 24 hours from midnight on one day, or 12:01 up until 11:59. Well, actually it's 12. Any day starts at 12 a.m. and then ends at 11:59:59. Then once you hit 12 again, it's the next day. So you'll have those 24 hours. There will be work conflicts, I know, so if you have a conflict, let me know. You can take it a day early or a day late. It's not a big deal. It's asynchronous. So yeah, I think I'll leave that at that with Canvas. I know I need to still build it out some. Let's look as quickly as we can at the syllabus. I think I have that open. 125.03.99, here we are. Here's the syllabus. There are no meeting times. I just took my other section syllabus and modified it for you all. You're not going to be calling me. Contacting me, you can contact me via Outlook, like regular email. There's a messaging app here within Canvas. That's fine. I'm on Canvas every day. I see it. I'm going to be communicating mostly through Canvas, either messages or announcements. So have your Canvas set to send you notifications, maybe on your phone. So if you're not in the habit of checking Canvas on your laptop or tablet every day, you at least get a notification that says you've got a notification on Canvas, and you can see if I've extended a due date or added some material for you. And you can also just send me a chat message through Teams. So here, let me show you how to do that. So you go into Teams, you go to Chat. This is also how you could find me if you just wanted to do a random, or if you wanted to do office hours. I can't speak. So let's say you're going to do a new chat. Is that new? There we are. And no, not Derek Weber. Beresevich. This is one of the other professors. Oh, and here's our old chat. So you would put my name in. If I put my name in, it doesn't show up. I put her name in, say I'm going to chat with her. If I hover the mouse over her name, I get this. This allows me to just send her a chat message, and then it bings on my phone and I can reply. So if you have a quick question and I'm feeling generous at 9 o'clock on a Friday, I can reply quickly at 9 o'clock on a Friday. Probably not going to reply 9 o'clock on a Friday, but I could. So that's an easy way to get a quick back and forth, a quick reply from me, because I'll see it on my phone. And it's a text, so we can be like LOL, goofy on text. This opens email. It'll open your Outlook if you have it. But if you want to talk to me in office hours or have an actual conversation, you just click on either the camera or the phone, and it makes a video call or an audio call. And it'll notify me if Teams is open on my computer, and it'll notify me on my phone. So this is what I think is great about Teams, is that I don't have to send you a link, which you then have to find and make sure that you're clicking on the right link at the right time if you want to get a hold of me. For better or for worse, you can make my phone do noisy things anytime you want through Teams. I don't expect anybody's going to abuse it, so that's all fine. Let's see. Then I'll go back to the syllabus. Sorry, there's so much, and I know these presentations always get disjointed because there's so much to cover and all the topics intersect with different technologies. So there's a bunch of ways to get in touch with me, and I'm surrounded by the technology in my office all day, so pick your poison and fire away your message. Department chair is there. Textbook, I don't care what textbook you have, as long as you have one. Lab manual, if you took AP1 here, you don't need one. We give you lab guides every week. They will be posted on the lab page. Everything will be made available to you when you need it. Mastering, I think we've already talked about. Grades, I want to go over grades and how the course works here. Is this it? Yeah. This is basically an expanded version of this, but I didn't want to delete that and throw all the spacing off. But this is has a little bit more information, and it is a little bit more reflective of how your grade is going to be calculated in Canvas. So you have these different major grading categories, which are listed further up on that first page, and the percentage contribution that they make to your final percentage grade in the class. Within each grading category, so let's say your exam grade, that is determined by taking the total number of points available on all of the exams up until that point, and calculating what percentage of the total points possible you earned. So if there were 100 exam points and you got 85 out of 100, you've now got an 85% score in exams. And then to calculate your total grade, Canvas is just going to take 70% of 85, and that is going to be your contribution of exams. And then it'll add up 2% of your discussion grade, 8% of your lecture work. So to show you how that works and show you that it does work, we will take 100%, because that is easy to do the math on, as an example of somebody's grade. So let's say somebody got 100% on every exam, did all their homework, blah, 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 blah. Their grade in the class is 100%. This is how it would work. Your exam grade would be 100%. Canvas will take 70% of that. So you just multiply by 0.7 to get 70%. And that would be 70. 2% of 100 is 2. 6% of 100 is 6. So you add up all of the percents of your percent, so to speak, and you get whatever the score is in the class. So if you've got 100%, these all add up to 100%. It gets more. You can't really do the math in your head if you're talking about 100. 70% of 90% versus 2% of 80, then these numbers get weird. But it all adds up properly, and this is how Canvas is going to calculate your grade. Several times I have done the grades manually and compared them to Canvas. Every once in a while I will see a discrepancy, which I can't really figure out, but I've never seen Canvas give somebody a lower grade than I get when I do all the calculations myself using a spreadsheet. So I have every reason to expect that your Canvas grade is accurate based on this grading procedure that I've given you here. So that we're going to have weekly discussions. You get to miss one of them, so Canvas is going to automatically drop one. You have lecture work. That is going to include anything in mastering. Any worksheets that are due, not just worksheets that I make available, but worksheets that you actually have to turn in, case studies that we might do, and interactive physiology. I don't know if I actually have any of those for AP2. I used to use a couple in AP1. So all of that is included as part of your lecture work grade. You can miss any two of those assignments without it affecting your grade. And I could be talked into maybe making that 3 because that's a lot of assignments. But there's really not a lot of reason to miss assignments because you can, you're going to have plenty of advanced warning and you can turn them in anytime. So those are that's your lecture work grade. Those 4 types of assignments combined make 8% of your grade. Your lecture quizzes, we're going to have 6 5-point quizzes. That's going to be 4% of your grade. 1 drop, so you can't make up any quizzes. Lab quizzes, 9, 8% of your grade. 2, I will drop your 2 lowest lab quiz grades. And then lab work is mostly lab reports. We will have some worksheets, and there will be a couple of times when we're doing Physio EX. All of that is 6% of your grade. 2 of those assignments you can miss, and they just drop, and then it doesn't affect your grade. And then, oh, whoops, I put attendance in here, but it's actually not part of your grade. So it's not, if you look here, it's not really part of your grade. That's from my class that meets synchronously. So the reason why the drops are there is that I know your lives are busy. I know your internet is going to crap out from time to time. Mine was having difficulty for a while. Turns out we had the router in the wrong place. Don't put your router right next to all of your other electronics. So it might have to be a little bit close to your modem, but you don't want like all of your plugs and cords sitting behind one desk somewhere, because all of those power cords create electrical interference that makes your Wi-Fi less stable. And I was learning that the hard way for a while. It wasn't a problem until both my wife and I were both working from home, and we kept on plugging in more stuff near the router, and it kept on not working as well. So at any rate, that is all because crap's going to happen, and everybody gets to miss a certain number of assignments, but then beyond that, there's no makeups, because it's a pain in the butt to do, and I don't want to be put in the position of judging who's got a good excuse and who doesn't. Did your internet really go down, or are you just disorganized? So that's it. Everybody gets the same number of free passes, and then after that it's a 0 and it just gets factored into your grade. And hopefully that is flexible enough. I feel like I'm giving everybody some flexibility. So that's how the grading works. We're coming up on a half hour here. I will try and wrap things up, and I think I'll make an additional video to talk about extra credit, because that's going to be a whole different thing, and it'll be easier to talk about when Canvas is built out more. And you don't want to watch a 45-minute video with everything. So we talked about attendance. Don't worry about, I forgot to delete that. Exams in Canvas. no open-ended. Lecture quizzes in Canvas, no open-ended. Those are both 1 point, 1 question. The homework is there. Lab exams, we're going to try and stick to these dates. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, because I just post the videos and you watch them, so it's not like we have to worry about if we have enough time in lecture to cover this stuff. And generally speaking, because when I'm making the videos, people aren't asking questions, it's unfortunately not interactive, you can cover, for lack of a better word, the material much quicker. So we usually don't have a problem covering material on schedule. The lab schedule is here. That is also not going to change. Because you just do the labs at home. There's no snow days. We don't need to make stuff up. We just do it at home, whether it's snowing or raining. So we are going to stick to this schedule. You will notice vision is the 3rd week. That is when you are going to need your eye from the dissection kit. So if you don't have a kit yet, make sure you get one. The lab exams will also be in Canvas. They will be someday that week. Again, you'll have 24 hours to get the exam done. We'll talk more about what's going to be on them when we get closer. They do have some open-ended questions and some questions that are worth more than 1 point. So those are usually 1 minute per point. So it might be 40 questions, an exam worth 52 points, so you'd get like 52 minutes. Yeah, and again, I will make clear on Canvas when lab reports are due, when quizzes are, when the exams are going to be. But we will have 1 quiz every week for the material from earlier in that week, I think is how I usually do it. Because it's just easier with doing things online. So maybe Saturday or Monday we'll have a quiz over whatever you were supposed to have learned the week before or earlier in the week. Let's see. And again, those will be in Canvas. The lab quizzes will be 10 points, 10 questions, no open-ended, and leaning towards an emphasis on the anatomy. With only 10 questions, there's always going to be a few physiology questions. So it's either going to be like 50% physiology and 50% anatomy, or maybe 65-70% anatomy and 25-30% physiology. And again, 1 point per question. All multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blanks, so you don't have to type anything in on the quizzes, and 1 minute per point, so they go pretty quickly. But they're generally not meant to be hard. But given, obviously, the amount of material that you need to learn, nothing that we do is easy. What else do we want to know that's important? Don't forget, if life gets in the way, which it does, it happens to the best of us, I can't remove you from the class. So if you can't take the class anymore because your work schedule changed and you had to get a second job or something, please do the paperwork and get a withdraw. Otherwise, I will be forced to give you an F. I do not have the option of giving you a W, or incomplete, really. If you just stopped coming, I can't give you an incomplete. We did that already. We talked about that. You can read that again if you want to. If you have an accommodation and you haven't sent me the letter about it, please do so. It is better to have your accommodation and not need it than the other way around. Keep an eye on when the final day to withdraw is. That is April 5th. Strategies for success. You made it through AP1, so you have some idea of what it takes to get through the class. Histology, blah, blah, blah. Delayed opening schedule, we don't care. Yeah, and then academic honesty. So just remember, we might not be able to stop you from using your PowerPoints, but copy and pasting from the PowerPoints is clearly cheating. So if you're using your PowerPoints, which I know many of you will, And as well you should, because you can't keep people from using them, so you're just disadvantaging yourself if you're not keeping your PowerPoints out. But I expect you to at least make the effort of typing in the answers yourself. And if you copy and paste from the PowerPoints and the format and the bullet points are still there, I am going to consider that plagiarism, and you will get a 0 on that exam. Right? Just make some effort to do things yourself. And sorry, I don't mean to impugn the whole class and a whole bunch of people that I haven't even met yet or have never had as students. I am talking to the students I have had in the past that have done all sorts of dumb stuff. Let's see. And then extra credit we're going to talk about a different time. I think that pretty much covers what I want you to know about the syllabus and the class. The email that went out, I think it was an email, went over everything you need to do this week, which is not a lot. And as I continue to build out the page over the next day or week, I'll let you know where things are, and hopefully before too long, everything will just be in its place. And so you'll be able to see all of your assignments coming from a mile away. That's it. Thank you for sticking around this long. Hopefully I will get to know some of you, and we'll all have as good of an educational experience as we can given the circumstances.